Congressman Dan Webster, how the heck are you?
Hey, I'm doing great.
Good. Are you really doing great, or are you just scratching your head going, what's up with these Democrats and this budget?
Well, there is that. It's sad. That part I'm very discouraged about. Number one, we're doing a continuing resolution. I usually try to pick before the first of the year of this year, so over a year ago. I tried to pick a date. I always do. And I missed it by 5 days this year. I thought it was going to be closer. But anyway, so we're doing a continuing resolution. And on top of that, we're not just raising the debt limit, which is something you can do, and there's sort of a block there in that there's a certain amount you're raising it to, and then you don't go above that. We are suspending the debt limit, which means it's like a blank check. And so we're going to continue to resolve to do what we did in the last 10 months. And in doing that, we're also adding to that a debt ceiling that doesn't exist. We're suspending the debt ceiling so we can spend any amount we want. And we've shown ourselves to be pretty well able to do that. And that scares me a little bit.
Well, yeah. Now, the federal government is different than the rest of us, and budgets are different, and things have to be done. And we wish you the best of that. Every year we have this argument, and most of us don't understand it, but it is a yearly thing. I want to drill down on this, the big spending bill the Democrats keep talking about. Is that in addition to what's already budgeted, or is it part of the budgeting bill? What is this $3.5 trillion we keep hearing about?
That's over and above what we're doing.
So that would be $3.5 trillion more. And how would we spend that over a 10-year period, or what?
Yes, but it's over and above what we're spending to run the government.
And we're already running at a deficit, correct?
Right.
Gotcha.
So we're just adding to it.
Is there anything in that budget request by the Democrats that the majority of Americans would say makes sense?
Not much. There might be, but there's so many things that can negate whatever it is they think are good. There's some bad things that are way worse than the good, and that's sort of the way I frame my vote. If I can be, if I can be 50%, a little over 50% for something, then I can bring myself to vote for it. But on the other hand, when you're down below that, then it's just not right for me or anybody else to vote for it. So that's what's happening, and unfortunately, we have just a need of a couple of votes, and we could stop it, but we can't right now. We're hoping the Senate will, and they'll maybe have some more clearer heads over there and be able to slow it down.
One thing most Americans agree is that we need infrastructure spending. There was an infrastructure bill. What happened to that?
That's their problem in a sense, because they're fighting among themselves. The Democrats are. They're a group that want to do the $3.5 trillion, and they want to do it first and have it passed before we do the other moderated bill. On the other hand, there are those who are sort of the other side of Democrats who say, no, that's too much. We don't want to do that. We just want to vote on the Senate position and pass it and send it to the president. So they're in a squabble right now. That's why we're still sort of spinning around here this week, waiting for something to break, and I'm not sure what it's going to be. They don't know either.
It's too bad for them, because they don't get it together and pass some stuff. They're going to lose control because they'll have no accomplishments. But on a much larger picture, it's bad for America. We need some bipartisan agreement on infrastructure. You get a bipartisan bill and you can't get it through because there's all this partisan stuff that has nothing to do with it. How frustrating. Now, we all saw, Congressman Webster, that disturbing video of the Border Patrol agent chasing down a couple of Haitians on horseback. He was on horseback. What is going on with the border and the Haitian situation?
Well, number one, I don't think they're all Haitians. That was one thing that was discovered. The second is there is just an overrun of illegals coming through. If you compare last year it was around 50,000 in a month. This year, it's over 200,000. So it's not. We can't even handle that many people. We can't corral that many people. We can't take care of that many people. So what's happening is they're taking a group of them and loading them up on a plane and sending them somewhere close to your hometown, wherever that is in America, and turning them loose. Now, there's no checking to see about COVID-19. There's no indication of whether they are or aren't, but we know that some are already infected, and that's going to just send it without any protection. They don't have to wear masks. They just get sent somewhere. And that, to me, number one, is two different standards. One for the Americans, which is kind of stiff, and the other is for anybody that's illegal. They get to get away with not doing anything about something they may have brought with them.
You know, I'd like to know exactly how much that is happening. We'd all like some answers onto exactly what's going on. And unfortunately, we don't have the exact numbers. And you mentioned, the Haiti situation. That's maybe been exaggerated, but I did see more than one story that say a lot of them are being deported back to a country that's a mess. And a lot of them have been here for a long time. It's not just the ones trying to come across the border, but we're just deporting people. The entire immigration system right now is under fire. And we could probably handle a lot more legally, but it's just a big old mess. And again, you need bipartisan legislation and resolution, and there's nowhere near to that we're going to get something like that.
No. Also, you could just think about maybe keeping the law we have right now. That might be enough.
Just enforce the laws we have right now in the meantime.
Yeah.
I hear you.
And that's not happening. So it is a mess. It's been hard to get the president and vice president to agree that there's even a problem, and so so it lacks leadership and direction and so forth because of that. So I'm hoping somebody will pay attention when it gets really, really bad, which it is right now. Then maybe they'll take a look at it and say, we got to do something, but I don't know if they will or not.
Well,
it's sad.
Number one, border. Number two, the infrastructure bill needs to get done, and I don't see anything happening. And quite honestly, I'll be honest with you, you guys get control of Congress and even the Senate, and nothing's going to happen. You get a president in there, and even then, if we don't get major majorities, we're going to continue on these situations. Nothing ever is going to happen unless you get clear majorities, and I don't see that happening. Why suit up and go to work? I don't know how you do your job.
It's not the greatest job to show up for every day, but I'm there to make a difference, and if I can, I'm going to do it. And I can also preach sermons that may or may not be accepted, but at least it's the truth. And if I can get out the truth, then I've done my job. Well,
and you're a big supporter of the vets, and you do manage to get good things done, too. And you are a fiscal conservative, a man after my own heart. Thank you so much for your time. I wish you well in fighting the good fight, Congressman.
Thank you so much. Great to be on. You're always very accommodating. I really appreciate it. We'll press on and see what happens. We'll be back with you later.
Good luck. God bless, and thanks for the update, Congressman Dan Webster.